Oke, Pak Andi sudah hadir juga di sini. Insya Allah kita akan mulai sebentar lagi.
Ya, selamat sore, selamat malam teman-teman semua, Bapak Ibu, Mbak Sastia, terima kasih.
Ya, mungkin whenever you're ready, Pak Andi, kita bisa mulai.
Right. Are we going to deliver this in English, right?
Ya, bisa nanti presentasinya bisa dalam bahasa Inggris, caranya bisa dalam bahasa Indonesia. Silahkan nyamannya aja, Pak Andi. Kebetulan kayaknya hampir semuanya orang Indonesia yang hadir di sini, jadi presentasinya, sharingnya bisa dalam bahasa Inggris, optional. Ya.
Baik. Bapak Ibu, teman-teman semua, selamat malam. Good evening everyone. Saya merasa senang sekali bisa ada di sini, menemani Bapak Ibu, teman-teman semua. Ibu Sastia, terima kasih sudah hadir sebagai Ketua Umum I4. Teman-teman pengurus juga saya lihat ada beberapa yang di sini. Ada Bu Ruth dan Bu Cynthia, terima kasih sudah hadir. Hari ini kita akan ada satu program yang sangat menarik. Kita punya program Lestari. Tapi sebelum itu, sebelum kita akan menuju kepada presentasi dan diskusi, kami berharap Ibu Sastia bisa memberikan mungkin sepatah dua patah kata gitu untuk mengantarkan diskusi ini. Silakan, Mbak Sastia.
Ya, terima kasih banyak. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat malam waktu Osaka, Jepang. Saya ingin menyapa rekan-rekan semuanya yang sudah hadir di sini, terutama mitra kita dari Lestari, ada Mbak Ruth, ada Mbak Cynthia di sini yang sudah hadir, dan juga members dari I4 yang saya hormati. I'm very pleased to welcome everyone here today to promote a very exciting program that is going to be has already been launched, and we hope that many of you will take advantage of this information delivered here, and many of you will participate. I think as researchers, we all usually are very much trained on how to conduct research and how to report our research result in terms of publication. But there's very, very few outlet and very few opportunities for us as researchers, as scientists, to actually deliver our research contributed to the society where our contribution will actually deliver bigger impact. And for that, it's sometimes necessary for us to not stop until just reporting our scientific findings in terms of scientific papers, publication, and patents, but also how we could actually go beyond that to apply what we have found in the lab, in research, to something that is more applied. So I think everyone here would agree with me that such opportunity is a very excellent, a rare indeed opportunity. And we are very pleased Ikaran Ilmuwan Indonesia Internasional could partner with Lestari to promote this kind of exciting program to scientists worldwide. So Ikaran Ilmuwan Indonesia Internasional, also called I4, is actually perhaps one and only Indonesian scientist organization that encompasses members worldwide. So we hope that through this kind of partnership, we also will be able to give back to our members beneficial information and opportunities that will be accessible to all of our members. So for that, I would like to thank again on behalf of all members of Ikaran Ilmuwan Indonesia Internasional for this excellent opportunity. And I would like to encourage everyone who's here today to take a good advantage of this kind of session dedicated only for us, for I4 members, and do ask many questions. And I'm sure that many of you will apply. And that is all from me. And I hope you enjoy today's event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Pak Andi. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Mbak Sastia, for such a short yet insightful remarks. Once again, thank you very much. I've been briefed that we are going to have a session by our colleague from Boston. So could you please confirm, Mbak Sastia, this is still on?
Yes,
correct?
But before that, we're going to have opening also from the director of Lestari, who is also here today.
All right.
Starts, yes.
Sure. Okay. Without further ado, I'd like to invite the director of Lestari, please.
Hi, everyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank you, everyone, for making the time and to join us in this session. Thanks again for Bu Sastia and also Pa Andi for giving us the space to share about our program. I think to begin with, I would like to start with maybe a short introductions about our organizations. So we're coming from PJR Foundations. We are a nonprofit that is focusing on helping Indonesia and the world to create the solutions to solve future challenges within future planet and future talent areas. What we meant by future planet and future talents areas is that it consists of 4 areas within those two. So we care about anything related to sustainability, energy resources, second, food agriculture, third, healthcare, and fourth is talent development. And I think just to share a bit of context of our founding story, just to set also the context why we're creating this kind of program, is that because we realized that in the next couple of decades, the next decades, in fact, there are a couple of things that Indonesia as a country need to overcome. So first thing first, we need to essentially accelerate our economic growth in order for us to actually realize our potentials to be the top 7 biggest economy in the world for the next decade. And I think beyond that, we all know that this is also correlates whether we can actually escape from the middle income trap that potentially deemed to us because or if we stay this way in terms of our economic growth. And I think second fact that we also consider and we also realize within our founding story is that we're also part of the global citizens where we are all face the same climate crisis and the global warming challenges across the world, right? And all these opportunities combined with the also challenges that we have at hand, we believe that we have to do extraordinary things, including in innovations. And we've seen a lot of innovations in the space in Indonesia and Southeast Asia in general, but we do see, especially to tackle global warming challenges related to future planet, future talent, we need more and more innovations that is backed by science or deeper technology. And so, with this kind of innovations, I think it's not only how we can behave differently through different digital channel, for example, creating another platform, but it changed entirely the structure of how we do things in terms of business process, how we produce things. It changed because the fundamental of the innovations is backed by science. So the kind of innovations that we would hope to be able to give a platform and try to help this kind of innovations to actually translate into ventures. And by being ventures, i.e., we can get more funding, we can make this research into a business that actually impacting more and more people, not only consumed by within academician circle. We think that this could actually bring economic growth that we hope to happen. So that's a bit of background. So we believe that by Lestari partnering with I4, this is the right definitely partner that we should collaborate with because we believe I4 has a network of Indonesian researchers, not only within Indonesia, but globally. So we're really hopeful that we can generate top ventures that actually can create these changes that we hope to happen. Yeah, that's a bit about PJAR and why we're doing this. And hopefully everybody gets insights and also value out of this session. Give it back to Pandi.
Thank you very much, Ibu Cynthia, for the introduction of PJAR Foundation. I think I would like to echo what Ibu Sastia mentioned earlier. We have a lot of research done by our researchers, but when it comes to translating that research into commercialized product, into product that is impactful to the society, it's a different story. So I think this is now a very good opportunity for us. I think Ibu Sastia is a very good example for this somehow. You have translated your research into not only into product, but into business. That's what I remember. So now I'd like to invite Ibu Sastia untuk menjadi moderator for this session. Ladies and gentlemen, Ibu Sastia, please. Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much, Pak Andi. Thank you very much, Bu Cynthia, for a very wonderful introduction. I've heard a lot about Pijar Foundation. I've heard a lot also about Lestari and all of the wonderful things you've been working on, and I'm very excited to be a part of this venture factory for scholars, because this is, I think, a very good program indeed for our members. And to give better context and to inspire, I would like to also invite one of our members and also our vice coordinator for biology, chemistry, and pharmaceuticals, Dr. Novalia Pisesa, who's an excellent researcher. She's a young scientist. Hi, Nova. Very early there in Boston. Thank you very much for joining us. And thank you very much for your time. You're waking up very early on a Saturday morning, ready to inspire us with your story. Because Nova is not only an excellent young scientist, she published a lot of really excellent papers, including in Nature series journal, but also she founded a startup, Cerberus Therapeutics, yes. And this is one of an excellent example how excellent research goes to reporting to very high impact journal, but also then can translate to actual application in the industry. So of course, for us, we would also like to hear her experience. And I hope that many of you who are here today will be inspired by her story and would like to do the same. Of course, later on, then apply to the excellent program offered by Lestari. So without further ado, Novalia Pisesa from Harvard Medical School, please share your story. Thank you.
Ya, Hai, halo semua, saya Nova. Jadi seperti udah dikenalkan oleh Bu Sastia, saya sekarang based in Boston. Jadi saya juga seperti Bu Sastia punya S3. Jadi S3 saya di Biological Engineering dulu di MIT. Terus ceritanya sebenarnya sih can I speak in English? I think it's easier for me if you guys don't mind.
We started in English so that you would just be
no, I'm just like
talking in English
for everyone. Yeah,
whatever language that is convenient.
Yeah. So actually, I grew up in Indonesia, like a lot of you guys, and then I came to the US for college and stay. So I have been trained as a scientist, so as an engineer. So like my bachelor, and then I didn't have a master's degree, but like my PhD, but all of them are in biological engineering from Berkeley and then MIT. So as you can see that I don't really have business background whatsoever. But then like what I can see is that, and I think I've been extremely lucky that the environment that I did my PhD at, also when I did my undergrad, this is an ecosystem, at least in the field that I'm in bioengineering and biotechnology. It is an ecosystem that like the university is there. So this is talking about Boston as well as the Bay Area, like so San Francisco and so on, is that the university is there, but also in the surrounding, there is a lot of support from not only just within the university to do your research and do your science, but also they have a lot of venture capital in the area. There are some programs like Lestari as well for PhD students or postdoc in the area who are interested. So there are a lot of avenue to actually really hone what you need in order for you to build a company around here. And also the venture capital, of course, serve as a source of funding. But I think more importantly, at least in biotech, is that the players are all here. So meaning that for biotech to succeed, because there are a lot more capital compared to let's say other tech like financial technology or so on, you do need a lot of capital. And one biggest source of the capital for biotech industry is actually the big pharma. So we are talking about multinational pharma company like Novo Nordisk, Biogen, Genzyme, and like all of those, Sanofi and so on. So I think there are a lot of those that are in the area as well. And in fact, like in the past 10 years, the ecosystem has grown because a lot of this company actually moved to the Bay Area or mostly Boston nowadays to actually really scout the small company that coming out of academic or this different system that is in the area. So I think that's kind of really helped that and how I got started, because in a lot of the way that like I was here, so I think you learned by osmosis, you like it or not because it's just around you. My PhD advisors, I think like, having really great mentors really helped. My PhD advisor, both of them started multiple companies throughout their career. And I think that's true inspiration. And in fact, for my journey in the biotech, I will say that my PhD thesis actually became a company. I filed a couple patents and it was awarded. And then the company, my PhD advisor at the time actually co-founded the company based on these patents with venture capital. But I think we can talk more in greater detail. There are a lot of different ways of building a company. At least in here, there are also options in which venture capital see an idea from an academic setting and they build it for you. So, but then of course your involvement is very minimal. So that's what like my experience was as a PhD student. But now, after I graduated, I got elected to the Society of Fellows and I work on different projects, and I kind of want to be more involved. I want to see how these things really work. So when I got my paper published, so first thing first, as a scientist, I think the most important thing is still your science. So do good science, and I think that money will come, among other things. So actually, when I published my work in mid 2021, published it, meaning it was actually under review, but then we put it in open source like bioRxiv or something like that. So that is associated with the journal that was reviewing our paper. So they actually a lot of venture capital in the area, like a lot of them actually, of course, my friends who I went to school with, and they actually emailed me and saying that, do you think you want to commercialize this? And that's also, I mean, I've been thinking about it, and it was like a really nice validation in a way that there were interest. So then they were calling me and we had different conversation. And like I mentioned, there are a lot of way of building, aside from getting the first million or two seed funding, is also like building like the team on the team itself. I think is super important. So, and also like the decision about like, do you want to be more involved as a scientist? Is it a path that you actually want to take, or you actually want to hand it over for someone else and they're going to build it for you? Of course, if you can find them. So for my case, actually in my this second take on biotech, I was convinced by my friends that I should just become the CEO and just do it. So, and started it. So that's something what we close our seed round the end of 2021, and then we enter a lab space. So there's another thing about biotech, you need lab space. And I think that's the nice thing about the greater Boston area and San Francisco Bay Area, is the fact that there are a lot of laboratory space that is specifically created to accommodate small biotech. So when you raise it round, you don't need to build your own lab, but you actually rent space, and there's a lot of equipment already there. So actually, me and my CTO at that time, my CTO, literally we started and we can do experiment on the first day. So I think that's aspect that was really, really nice about the area. So we started like about a year and a half ago now, so about earlier last year, and we are like about 6 people right now, and we are trying to like close several more deals. And like I mentioned, these deals with a lot of the big biopharma and big foundations in the area who are investing their money for certain collaborations and projects. And that's where we are. It's been exciting, even though been a lot of interesting experience. But yeah, and I think I have to say that like the way you raise fund in terms of for seed round or like for different aspect of the funding is very it's much shorter term than academic science. I think it should be very goal oriented, and I think really like going toward more product development. So I think that's like kind of some of the departure of presentation and so on. That's really different from the academic setting. But the science itself, it's still the same, you know, like if you know how to do good science, like you keep that, of course, within the biotech setting. It's more about like, you know, how you deliver your idea and, you know, how to prioritize the experiments that need to be done. It's slightly different, and finding partner and so on. But yeah, so I think it's been exciting. So there are a lot to learn. It's slightly different. There are a lot of things, and I have to acknowledge that it has been a huge privilege that I am in the area that has a really great supportive ecosystem to allow this. So for example, for me, hiring the next scientist is pretty simple. You know, there are a lot of people in the area who have like scientific background that you can hire, but also have like the business background and the legal background and so on. So I think the ecosystem does need to be there, at least for the biotech aspect. And yeah, so I guess that's my take so far. Happy to answer any question.
Well, that's excellent, Nova, for sharing your story. It's a very compact story, but we could imagine how your mentor inspires you. That is one thing. Ecosystem, building an ecosystem that supports innovation, then become commercialization, become impact. So then I think this kind of I think in my opinion, the mentor is very, very crucial, to build a sense of entrepreneurship and also to set an example that it can be done. And I think this is where I think the program from Lestari could actually be very, very useful for us who, for example, do not have such mentors. You could join the program. It's 8 weeks, like a boot camp. Then you will be introduced to many different mentors who actually already know how everything is done and could share their experience, like Nova here, for example. Then we could learn from their experience on what are the do's and the don'ts, and perhaps learn from their mistakes as well. So, and the things like the things that we need to bring in moving forward. So just would like to ask one question, Nova. If you would like to redo everything, what is the thing that you regretted not doing in the first place? I think, if I had known better, probably I would do it this way. Is there any take on from the 1.5 years experience? Would you share with us what you would like to do differently? Had you had more experience, perhaps you could share that with us. The things.
Yeah, I think so. I think I just even though I'm in the area, but the community that you interacted with in academic setting, in the biotech settings are very different. So what they want to hear and what they are looking for are very different. So there are a lot of like approaches or like presentation and stuff which I feel that I could have done better if I know my audience a little better. So everything always take time, and people keep changing here and there. So yeah, I mean, just think about like in the academic setting, you have your professors and then your professor friends that are they know each other, and like the way what they want to hear in a presentation is very different from when you are presenting in a different group of people. So I think that that's a very similar thing here, that I think I knew more of the people who are my age who like actually have gone to the biotech completely, but more like the middle range people, like maybe there are now like the head of R&D or something, or not some people I know. So I think that their experience, because it's been built into them for the past 10 to 20 years of their career, I think that there is like quite some, I will say there is quite some dichotomy between like academic and biotech. So I think there are people who are in biotech really want to see certain things that academic usually do not care about, and it's vice versa. So I think there is like aspect of that I think I underestimated the discrepancy a bit compared to I should have. So I think that's a few things that I will say that I will do differently.
Okay, thank you so much, Nova. So knowing your audience and how to pitch your research to the right people probably is one thing that would be trained, I believe, in this program. And anyone have any questions? Perhaps Pak Andi, if you have any comments or questions, anyone to Nova?
We'll wait for the questions from audience, if any, please. Or if not yet, I think, Nova, thank you very much once again. I'm so impressed by your presentation. One thing that I took from, or three things actually. First, you mentioned very clearly that do good science and money will come. I'm so, I like it very much. So
well, do science and sell it well. I think that's another one.
Right. So I think it's very nice to put it that way. So you have to focus first on your expertise, right? And then be master in it, and then you go. The step is then to commercialize it. The second is about the ecosystems. I really like that idea. So it is hard for me honestly to imagine in Indonesia, Mbak Sastia, for example, that we have an environment where, for example, young people go there, and when they need something, they just can't get it from the surrounding, right? Hire people from different backgrounds, use the lab. That is actually, you don't really need to establish a lab. Everything is there already. I think that's something that is, we need to advocate this to the government maybe one day. And the third thing that you mentioned is about the multidisciplinary interaction. me as a engineer, for example, sometimes we don't really think that much about the legal aspects of the process, but then we eventually will need that. So I think this is a good take for me, how we really need to be open to different disciplines around us. I think that's probably not a question, but just an appreciation to you. Thank you very much once again, Nova.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any? Okay, not yet.
Okay, so Nova, perhaps you have any final remarks that you would like to share to everyone?
Yeah,
Based
good
on your-
luck. I guess good luck.
Good luck ya. Ya,
Ya.
semoga banyak yang daftar ya nanti ke programnya Lestari ini, nanti bisa mengikuti jejaknya Nova bikin venture dari hasil riset gitu ya. Okay, thank you very much, Nova, for sharing with us your experience. I think there's a lot of very important wisdom there. Yeah, within the very brief story, I think we could capture many important take home message from your talk, and I think everyone is very much inspired by your story, and I hope more of Novabilia Pisesa will be born after the boot camp. Okay, thank you very much, Nova, for sharing your story, and back to you, Pak Andi.
All right, thank you very much, Nova. Thank you very much once again, Bapak Ibu, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is now the time for us to really learn to make a step one step further, how to translate our research into a commercialized product and how to make it happen. With that, now I would like to invite the next presenter.
Yes, Burut.
Yeah, Burut, please, if you.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's very clear.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Bu Sastia, Pak Andi, and everyone here. I'm very honored to be sharing about the Lestari program called Venture Factory for Scholars. I'm Ruth Kirana. I'm the program manager for Future Lestari. Let me share my deck. So, okay, can you guys see my deck?
Yes, it's on.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Good night, everyone. I know this is a Saturday night, so it's very. I know you guys are very keen to do this. Want to learn more about this program. So let's start. So as mentioned by Cynthia before, the director of Lestari, Lestari is actually a part of Future Foundation, which aims to build an ecosystem of strategic players to close talent, innovation, and policy gaps, especially for the future of the world. So Lestari itself is an impact hub and also an impact ecosystem builder, where we focus on building, accelerating, and investing in innovation and sustainability. We have 3 pillars. We have innovation programs, venture building, and also venture investment, where we will build an impact fund to invest in impact startups. But for tonight, let me share a bit more about innovation programs. We have a couple of innovation programs starting from ideas. We're funding the ideas. We're also building a venture factory where we turn your ideas and research into an early stage ventures. And we also have Lestari Accelerator, where we accelerate startups that's already established to capture more target market and have connections to the key stakeholders in the space. So let's talk about Venture Factory. As mentioned before by Bu Sastia, by Cynthia, Venture Factory for Scholars is actually a global venture incubation program for Indonesian scholars and diaspora all over the world to build research-based ventures to solve the world's future challenges. The objectives was very simple, actually. We want to promote entrepreneurs and impact these startups, but we also want to establish a business innovation ecosystem, or what we call is a business factory, a venture factory for Indonesian academics, researchers, and scholars worldwide. This is also mentioned by Novalia before that in Boston, they already have that, but what we're trying to do here is to bring that knowledge, to bring that ecosystem back to Indonesia, so we can produce more impact-based startup, we can produce more research that can be turned into early-stage ventures. And that's why our third objective is also becoming a multi-stakeholder platform for academics, industry, and also the government to establish more research-based ventures. So the theme that we're carrying in this program is actually sustainability. But the sustainability that we're aiming for is focused on 4 sectors, which is the agriculture, health, education, or talent, and energy. So for the participants' requirement, we have 3 categories. The first one would be public, where people would know about us from media, social media. The second one would be from university, where we actually have Lestari Innovation Hub, where we gathered innovation hubs in Indonesia's top universities to join us and get mentors, get boot camps from Venture Factory for Scholars. And the third one would be most suitable for the empat, which is the diaspora categories. The requirement for you to be able to apply is essentially you must be either a graduate, alumni, or aspiring venture founder who is currently or have pursued a diploma, bachelor's, master's, or PhD degree, but with Indonesian citizenship. And you also have a passion for creating research-based ventures. More about this later, but essentially we're targeting technology readiness level 4 as a maximum research, as we will help you to actually go through the technology readiness level in the bootcamp itself. And for you to be able to apply, you also have to form a team that consists of 2 individuals. So there is 2 founders or 2 co-founders that can help each other, because we believe that collaboration is key to building a sustainable startups. And of course, your business or venture, innovation or research must be original and focuses on at least one of the themes. For the timeline, we're encouraging everyone at I4 to register through the link. We're opening the registration from 2 June to 2 July. So you guys have time to prepare your answer, your deck, and even your research to be turned into an early stage ventures in Venture Factory for Scholars. What are the benefits? This is the most quantitative benefits. The first one is business development funding. So we offer participants the opportunity to win a total of business development funding or dana bantuan usaha of up to 200 million rupiah for the winners. And we also focusing on providing practical business creation bootcamp, as mentioned before, that we already have the research, we already have the innovation in the academic side, but we don't have the practical pipeline to turn those research into a business. So that's what we're aiming to do through this program. And during the business creation bootcamp, you guys will have an expert speakers that will share their best practices, turning their research, their innovation into a business. And they will share their insights and best practices, which I think will be very valuable for all of us that wants to become a venture founders. The third one would be expert mentorships. We're also having a session specifically on each industry that we're aiming for. So we have mentorship for energy, we have mentors for education, health, and also agriculture. So we get to dig deeper into their knowledge, their expertise into what is the business opportunities that may arise in Indonesia and what solution can we bring to the table? The fourth one, Lestari is proud to have you guys connected to an entrepreneurship and also investment ecosystems, because we know that research to be turned into business would also need funding, and that's why we are also partnering with Alpha GWC to help us secure this funding, to help us provide the access for the researchers, for the scholars to gain an insight into the commercialization. The fifth one would be an opportunity to be selected as Lestari Top Venture Founders, whereas this would be a very selected team, very selected participants, where we will, after the programs, we will accelerate them and connect them with investment, with the key stakeholders in the space, with government, which would add to the value of like $50,000. And also, we're hoping that these startups could be the next sustainability startups for Indonesia. So if you guys are wondering, I'm submitting my application, what would be the selection indicators? We have 5 selection indicators, which I will mention just briefly. Of course, the problem assesses the extent of which of your startup. What problems are you trying to solve? Is there any target market for that? And the second one would be solution. This would be we're looking into the solutions that you guys created. Is it impactful to the problem? Is it fit to the problem? And also, how far along are you in the research? Because we're targeting a technology readiness level at maximum 4. So it's more about you guys have measurable KPIs and you have validated the new technology, but not yet bring it to the next step, which Venture Factory for Scholars will help you with. The third one would be impact, of course, how impactful the solution is, the relevance to SDGs. And also the fourth one is visibility, whether the solution that you guys created has the potential to be scaled up, to be invested on. And the fifth one would be, one of the most important things in building a sustainable business is the team, where your experience, expertise, and relevant backgrounds, your research would take a much larger role in your role as an entrepreneur. So that's basically the 5 selection indicators that we're targeting. And I believe you guys are already have those 5. Okay, so let me dive a bit deeper into the bootcamp and mentoring. So what we're gonna do is that out of all applicants, we will select the top 100 ventures, which will participate in an 8-week online bootcamp and mentoring, where we will go through 8 specific topics. It was designed to help participants, to help ilmuwan, to help scientists, to help scholars that already have their research, their ideas validated in an academic setting, to turn it into a business. And the bootcamp will provide knowledge, skills, and actionable step-by-step guidance to turn those research into a business. So we have these 8 specific topics, starting from becoming an entrepreneur. We know the mindset of an academic and a mindset of entrepreneur is kind of different, and that's why we want to give you a preview solution to adopt how does the entrepreneur thinks and utilize it to turning your research into an actual business. We also have building ideas into vision, finding the right customers, creating and managing product, monetizing your venture, which is very important, and also establishing go-to-market strategy, gaining tractions. And eventually, we also want to build a team and ventures to build a sustainable business. So we will go through these 8 topics during the bootcamp and mentoring. This is essentially the program design. yeah, we're looking forward to your application until the 2nd of July. So for the strategic partners, we are happy to have PP Dunia and Forum Diaspora Indonesia to support us. And also we have university partners, top University Indonesia also joined. And of course, the community partners that helps us to publish these programs to their members, especially Ikaran Ilmuwan Indonesia International. So we're very honored to have I4 as our partners, which is why we also have a specific referral program for I4 as an organization. And so what we essentially do is I4 will have 3 teams that can be referred to Venture Factory for Scholars that will that Lestari will add points to, so they have a bigger opportunities to become the Lestari Top 100 Venture Founders and get into the program. Of course, Lestari will still consider other parts, but of course, community organizations, I4 supports would also account a lot to the team's application. This is essentially the thing that I've been talking about. This is the one pager for you to screenshot and take a look at it. And I think that's all from me. Turn your research into an early stage ventures now, and let's join us to solve the world's future challenges. Thank you.
Terima kasih banyak, Bu Ruth. Ini Mbak Ruth luar biasa ya. Ini presentasinya rasanya kayaknya semuanya langsung pada pengen cepet-cepet daftar ya. Kayaknya banyak banget ilmu yang bisa didapat dari sini. Informatif sekali. Mungkin tadi agak sedikit cepat, yang slide sebelumnya mungkin bisa ditunjukin lagi ya, untuk memastikan siapa aja sih yang bisa daftar syaratnya gitu. Oke, ketentuan pendaftar ini tadi di-summarize ya. Jadi sebenarnya jenjang ilmu apa saja walaupun masih mahasiswa bisa daftar ya, Bu Ruth ya?
Exactly.
Nah,
Yes.
Nah, kebetulan I4 itu sendiri kan memang gabungan dari ilmuwan maupun yang di dalam negeri maupun yang diaspora. Dan kita punya ilmuwan muda kita lulusan S1, ilmuwan madya yang lulusan S2, dan ilmuwan prima lulusan S3. Jadi berbagai jenjang itu tentunya eligible untuk bisa daftar, itu penting. Terus ya itu ya, kita butuh orang-orang yang fully committed, dan innovation teams-nya ini sangat timely ya, banget cocok untuk memecahkan SDGs, tadi sustainability, agriculture, energy, health, and education. Ini sangat cocok juga dengan cluster-cluster keilmuan yang ada di I4. Dan tadi disampaikan bahkan diaspora sendiri pun bisa apply. Ini jarang ya, biasanya seringan program-program yang dari dalam negeri itu hanya untuk orang-orang yang berdomisili di Indonesia. Jadi rekan-rekan yang ada saat ini berdomisili di luar negeri, misalnya lagi pursue S3 atau S2, atau memang sudah bekerja, sudah punya startup, itu diperbolehkan untuk mendaftar. Jadi ini kesempatan yang sangat bagus untuk ilmuwan diaspora kita. Tadi juga disampaikan ada banyak sekali benefit, bukan hanya benefit moneter ya, jadi bakal dapat dana bantuan usaha ya tadi itu, jadi usahanya bisa disupport, tapi tentunya ilmu yang tidak ternilai ya. Kalau menurut saya ilmu itu tidak bisa, we cannot put a number on very valuable knowledge dari mentor-mentor yang akan disampaikan. Jadi mungkin Pak Andi juga ada pesan dan kesan gitu sebelum kita buka untuk tanya jawab. Silahkan, bisa dalam bahasa Indonesia, dalam bahasa Inggris, whatever language you're comfortable with. Silahkan Pak Andi.
Matur nuwun, terima kasih. Bu Ruth, terima kasih sekali. Presentasinya sangat menyenangkan dan memberi harapan ya Mbak Sastia ya kepada tadi sangat clear disampaikan bahwa ini akan menjadi satu ajang untuk belajar gitu kan ya. Jadi tidak hanya sekedar bagaimana dikasih uang untuk melakukan translasi, tapi karena kalau saya pikir ya, in Indonesia at the moment, money might not be the biggest problems gitu. Karena kan kita punya kedai reka, kita punya macam-macam gitu ya. Tapi ini akan hadir sebagai filling the gap menurut saya. Ketika orang sebenarnya punya kesempatan untuk mengakses pendanaan, tapi mungkin tidak sebanyak itu punya kesempatan untuk mengakses knowledge gitu ya. Jadi saya berharap program ini yang disampaikan Venture Factory for Scholars ini akan menjadi gap filler gitu mungkin kalau bahasa saya itu untuk hal seperti itu. Jadi saya berharap ini teman-teman yang sudah punya ide-ide bagus itu akan segera bisa mendaftar. Mungkin ke depan saya nggak tahu nih apakah Ibu Ruth juga bisa nanti menjelaskan what is the future plan, for example, to work in collaboration with the government, for example. That might not be the right step at the moment, but in the future, I think because the government at the moment, for example, with the Kadareka thing, has a lot of money. That's what I understand, and to be distributed to the scholars. That might be another step or the further step to do. Ibu Ruth, if you have any comment on that, please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Exactly, Pak Andi. We do have a lot of funds. We do have a lot of venture capital here in Indonesia. However, we see the gaps that you've mentioned. We see the gaps that there are no actual pipeline from scholars into getting the funds, because nggak bisa tiba-tiba ya kita bikin riset terus tiba-tiba this is a very investable. That's not how it works. So that's why we actually built the Venture Factory for Scholars. And regarding Kedaireka, we actually, as a Lestari, we actually have partner with Kedaireka to help them to carry it out, the matching funds program also. So there's definitely possibility for us to connect further into funding and investment opportunities. And we're looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you, Ibu Ruth. Now we would like to invite questions maybe or comments from the audience, please. Monggo Bapak Ibu.
Silahkan kalau ada yang ingin bertanya langsung. Ini baru tahun ini ya diluncurkan program ini, Bu Ruth?
Yes, this is the first ever program. Before kita udah bikin namanya program accelerator, which is kita kerjasama dengan PLN to accelerate energy and electricity startups. So knowing that Indonesia need a lot more startups that is not only in energy and electricity sector, actually prompt us to open the more categories in this program.
Ada pertanyaan dari rekan-rekan semuanya, silakan kalau ada yang ingin bertanya bisa via chat atau sekalian langsung raise hand. Silakan Bu Lili Dahliani.
Terima kasih, selamat malam. Ini di Indonesia malam ya. Selamat malam semuanya. Because my English is very limited, I think it better for me to talk in Indonesian saja ya. Jadi kalau saya menangkap tadi yang disampaikan, by the way, suara saya kedengaran jelas nggak ya?
Ya, terdengar jelas Ibu.
Oke, saya Lili Dahliani dari Sekolah Vokasi IPB ya. Jadi tadi saya menyimak, sepertinya ini sejenis apa ya, kayak pendanaan gitu ya, Lestari ini ya. Pendanaan kita untuk riset, barangkali karena ya itu tadi bahasa Inggris saya terbatas, tapi kenapa saya ikut menyimak ini, barangkali saya bisa belajar ya, untuk paling tidak listening dulu lah untuk bahasa Inggris, biar istilah familiar gitu ya dengan bahasa-bahasa yang disampaikan tadi oleh narasumber ya, sudah 3 narasumber, 2 narasumber. Jadi tangkapan saya, pemahaman saya, Lestari ini salah satu bentuk bantuan pendanaan untuk riset atau bagaimana ya? Mungkin itu pertanyaan saya, karena tadi kan Ibu yang barusan menyampaikan juga mengkaitkan dengan ada Kedereka, matching fund. Nah, ini kebetulan kan saya juga mengajukan proposal terkait itu. Mungkin itu ya komentar atau barangkali ini pertanyaan saya. Terima kasih, saya kembalikan ke moderator.
Silakan baru mungkin bisa di sum up dalam bahasa Indonesia.
Yes, boleh. Thank you pertanyaannya Bu Lili. Nice to meet you, saya Ruth. Oke, jadi Venture Factory for Scholars ini adalah program inkubasi. Apa itu program inkubasi? Program inkubasi itu adalah program di mana kita akan membantu para researcher, para peneliti, para akademisi untuk mengubah riset mereka atau ide atau inovasi yang mereka punya untuk menjadi sebuah bisnis. Jadi ini lebih ke arah bootcamp dan mentoring. Bootcamp dan mentoringnya ini akan berjalan selama 8 minggu. Boleh di sini. Ya, jadi bootcamp and mentoring itu akan dijalankan selama 8 minggu online, sehingga teman-teman yang ada di luar negeri, diaspora itu juga bisa ikut. Selama 8 minggu, kita akan belajar 8 topik, 8 best practice atau 8 8 insight, 8 knowledge dari speaker, dari para pembicara, para mentor yang memang punya expertise di bidang entrepreneurship. Nah, apa yang dipelajari selama 8 minggu itu mulai dari belajar menjadi entrepreneur, lalu mengubah ide menjadi sebuah visi, sampai akhirnya di akhir 8 minggu bootcamp, ide yang awalnya hanya ide akan menjadi bisnis, atau menjadi early stage business atau menjadi bisnis pemula yang bisa kita akselerasi lagi. Tetapi bisnis pemula inilah yang kita mau inisiasi melalui program ini. Untuk programnya sendiri itu akan peserta yang mengikuti program ini itu akan mendapatkan apa? Pertama, mereka akan mendapatkan dana bantuan usaha. Nah, dana bantuan usaha ini tentu akan diberikan kepada startup-startup yang terpilih, tim yang terpilih sebesar up to 200 juta. Jadi memang ini salah satu benefit dari mengikuti program Venture Factory for Scholars. Tapi bukan hanya itu aja benefitnya, bukan hanya itu aja keuntungan mengikuti program ini. Yang kita tekankan di sini adalah kita mau menjadi platform, kita mau menjadi wadah bagi teman-teman akademisi, bagi teman-teman yang lagi kuliah S1, S2, S3 untuk mengubah ide, inovasi atau riset mereka menjadi bisnis. Kita akan konekkan mereka juga dengan investasi, mulai dari partner-partner kita yang salah satunya adalah Kedereka atau modal ventura atau investor lainnya. Tetapi yang kita tekankan di sini memang kita mau nih membantu para akademisi untuk mengubah dari ide menjadi bisnis. Kira-kira menjawab nggak ya, Bu Lili?
Mungkin sedikit diperjelas bahwa ini bukan research funding ya, bukan untuk melakukan riset, tapi bagaimana mengkomersialisasikan hasil riset ya. Jadi sudah harus bukan masih basic riset banget gitu, berarti sudah harus tadi disebut TRL 4 ya. Mungkin sedikit bisa dijelaskan gitu, kira-kira di level mana gitu yang dicari.
Yes, thank you Bu Sastia. Jadi memang kita fokusnya di sini mengkomersialisasi ide, riset atau inovasi dari para akademisi S1, S2, S3 gitu. Kita di sini memang fokus untuk membantu mereka membuat bisnis. Tetapi kita juga harus melihat bahwa para tim yang akan terpilih menjadi top 100, top 100 yang akan ikut bootcamp juga udah punya background knowledge, udah punya specific research, udah punya riset yang spesifik menyasar 4 tema tadi. Ada pendidikan, kesehatan, agrikultur, dan energi. Jadi ide inovasi yang di dalam keempat tema tersebut boleh didaftarkan. Nah, tapi sejauh apa sih riset yang harus sudah dikembangkan sebelum bisa masuk ke dalam Venture Factory for Scholars? Itu kita buat maksimal ketika kita buat teman-teman di sini yang mau daftarin risetnya, itu minimal risetnya itu udah pernah dilakukan research, udah pernah diinisiasi dalam lingkup akademik. Jadi memang sudah dibuat artikel ilmiahnya gitu, dan sudah pernah divalidasi hipotesisnya. Di sini kita juga kalau mau one step lebih tinggi lagi, measurement atau pengukuran dari bisnis yang mau dibuat, misalnya dalam segi energi, dia udah tahu bahwa key performance indicators-nya adalah KWH gitu misalnya, gampangnya KWH. Nah, itu sudah dituangkan dan sudah diketahui oleh para founders atau para pendiri startupnya ini. Jadi memang kita fokus untuk membantu teman-teman akademisi yang sudah punya ide inovasi yang sudah teruji di lab untuk mengubah inovasi tersebut menjadi bisnis, yaitu fokus di komersialisasi dari riset tersebut. Mungkin itu kali ya, Bu.
Ya, terima kasih banyak, Bu Ruth. Karena tadi ada dari Mbak Ratna Ningsi Prasetyo bertanya memang apakah ada template khusus untuk aplikasi, mungkin nanti bisa di-share di chat juga ya, link to application yang tadi ada di presentasi gitu, dan juga mungkin presentation materialnya bisa juga di-share via chat. Nanti langsung yang participants yang hadir di sini bisa akses gitu, nanti mungkin link ini bisa di-share di chat. Karena tadi sudah terjawab ya, baru sekedar idea sudah bisa disubmit, mungkin tidak ya, kayak kita harus sudah ada verifikasi keabsahannya, sudah hipotesisnya sudah teruji gitu ya, tadi sudah disampaikan oleh Bu Ruth. Tadi juga sudah dijawab bahwa ini bukan lebih ke research funding, tapi lebih ke bagaimana dari research ideas, research output itu bisa nantinya diinkubasi, diakselerasi supaya bisa menjadi satu bisnis. Dan nanti bisa dapat dana bantuan usaha, itu lebih ke startup funding jadi ya, instead of research funding. Kalau bisa kita say simply, itu bisa dianggap ini startup funding gitu.
Betul.
Betul ya Mbak Ruth ya?
Betul, Bu.
Oke, siap. Ini selanjutnya juga ada pertanyaan dari Mas Hender di Jepang. Mereka adalah early stage startup, jadi mungkin sudah punya startup tapi masih in early stage, dan dari segi ide mereka sudah pernah mengikutkan ke international competition, come out as runner up. Apakah bisa eligible untuk join?
Oke, thank you Mas Hender untuk pertanyaannya. Early stage startups di Jepang, mungkin aku perlu lebih banyak konteks di sini ya. Apakah startupnya ini di bidang sustainability, sudah sejauh mana produk dikembangkan, dan apakah foundernya itu orang Indonesia tapi berada di Jepang. Tapi untuk mudahnya adalah we encourage for walaupun early stage startups juga boleh daftar, karena memang what we're providing here actually is an insight into the Indonesian ecosystem, right? Nggak cuman kompetisi, tapi lebih ke knowledge and best practices sharing dari speakers dan mentor yang memang key stakeholders di Indonesia. So I would encourage you to join if you actually wants to commercialize in Indonesia. Lalu untuk how long for the whole process? The whole process untuk bootcamp itu akan ada selama 8 minggu. Tapi jika kita hitung, jadi setelah bootcamp itu kita akan ada pemilihan top 10 startups. Top 10 startups ini mungkin akan ada sekitar proses 2 minggu. Jadi totalnya ya hanya 10 minggu sebenarnya untuk bisa memilih top 10 startups, top 10 ventures dari Venture Factory for Scholars. Lalu, is there any need to travel to Indonesia or just online? To accommodate diaspora, we would do it online, but kita juga bisa bikin hybrid. But of course, we will accommodate diaspora to be able to share, to be able to take part in Venture Factory for Scholars from wherever they are.
Ya, wonderful. Semoga bisa terjawab. Jadi karena diaspora diperbolehkan ikut, jadi hampir semuanya ya nanti akan diadakan online. Jadi presentasinya itu sendiri Mbak Ajeng Pramono bertanya bisa diakses nanti ya di YouTube I4 akan available after this. Ini juga kita sekarang sedang live di YouTube dan nanti bisa ditonton ulang. Nanti bukletnya juga insya Allah akan di-share oleh Mbak Ruth di sini ya untuk bisa dipelajari lebih detail. Terima kasih banyak untuk pertanyaannya. Lalu Mbak Cynthia yang terakhir oh ini Mbak Cynthia tadi juga. Oke, sudah dijawab. Ada lagi yang ingin bertanya? Silahkan.
Kayaknya udah mulai ini ya, udah mulai membuat application.
Ya. Jadi ini ya, mungkin Pak Andi juga bisa bantu untuk menyampaikan ya. Kita ternyata ini ya, deadline-nya 2 Juli. Mungkin bisa sedikit dikasih spoiler gitu ya, seberapa banyak sih yang harus disiapkan gitu. Mungkin Mbak Ruth bisa cerita sedikit tentang aplikasi gitu, berapa banyak sih yang harus disiapkan untuk aplikasi gitu, apakah kira-kira berat kayak kalau kita mau apply funding di Indonesia biasanya itu kan banyak banget ya yang harus disiapin ya Pak Andi. Ini gimana kira-kira untuk teman-teman di sini kan kita sudah di pertengahan Juni gitu, deadline-nya 2 Juli, is it possible gitu kalau baru mulai sekarang, baru mau mulai siapin aplikasi, gimana Mbak Ruth?
Yes, thank you Bu Sastia for the mention. Yes, untuk kita sebenarnya we want to open this as easy, we want to make the process as easy as possible, makanya kita mau buat proses aplikasinya itu di type form sebenarnya, jadi ada pertanyaan tinggal dijawab, jadi nggak seribet ini ya ngurusin scholarship atau beasiswa yang harus minta rekomendasi, nggak. Yang mungkin perlu disiapkan adalah of course ide atau inovasinya, lalu riset tentang masalahnya, kenapa produk atau inovasi yang teman-teman buat itu penting. Of course harus menyelesaikan masalah kan. Nah, masalah inilah yang mungkin harus didik deeper, harus memberikan kepada juri bahwa masalah ini krusial untuk diselesaikan. Setelah kita tahu bahwa masalahnya krusial untuk diselesaikan, teman-teman baru menuliskan apa sih dari masalah ini, kenapa saya memilih untuk come up with this solution. Kenapa kita memilih untuk membuat solusinya seperti ini. Itu juga harus dijelaskan, lalu mungkin ada pertanyaan tentang target market, sebesar apa sih masalah ini terjadi di Indonesia ataupun di luar negeri, di seluruh dunia, sehingga butuh solusi ini. Selanjutnya mungkin kita juga ingin tahu mengenai timnya sendiri, background para founder yang mendaftar itu seperti apa. Apakah mereka memang memang berkecimpung di bidang agrikultur, kesehatan, pendidikan, dan energi untuk bisa melakukan riset lanjutan jika diperlukan. Dan of course, di akhir kita juga akan melihat SDG apa, impact apa yang akan dihasilkan dari masalah ini diselesaikan. Jadi aku akan encourage teman-teman untuk take a look, lihat dulu di link yang aku share. Itu sebenarnya kita ada 2 proses. Jadi link pertama itu memang lebih singkat, jadi mungkin hanya butuh sekitar 5 menit maksimal untuk menyelesaikan form tersebut. Setelah form tersebut diselesaikan, akan ada link untuk menjelaskan lebih jauh tentang problem, innovation, solution yang teman-teman mau daftarkan. Nah, di situ teman-teman, kita memang buatnya kan kalau ada ini ya, form yang harus dijawab dulu baru bisa next. Nah, kita nggak melakukan hal itu, teman-teman bisa skimming dulu, mau lihat dulu pertanyaannya apa aja sih, lalu apa sih yang harus disiapkan, teman-teman tuh bisa lihat dulu, siapkan jawabannya, baru teman-teman bisa isi lagi. Itu sih sebenarnya. Tapi the process would be easy dan it wouldn't take more than kalau udah punya datanya ya, it wouldn't take more than 10 minutes sih. Jadi pasti bisa sebelum 2 Juli.
Oke, thank you very much, Mbak Ruth. Saya agak sedikit penasaran nih. Tadi kan sempat disampaikan ada venture founders gitu. Jadi ada yang sedikit kurang jelas buat saya. Apakah orang yang apply harus nantinya establish venture capital, venture gitu, harus bikin startup, atau sudah harus punya startup, atau tadi seperti disampaikan yang saya tangkap, asal ide inovasinya itu jelas, belum punya startup pun tidak apa-apa gitu. Gimana kira-kira dari awal sampai ujungnya?
Yes. Untuk output kita, memang kita mau meng-empower 100 venture founders di akhir. Tapi untuk mendaftar ke Venture Factory for Scholars, teman-teman nggak harus udah punya startup, nggak. Yang penting teman-teman udah kebayang idenya, kebayang ini solusi masalahnya, teman-teman bisa daftar. Jadi jangan bingung ya teman-teman, kita open untuk everyone, bahkan yang belum menjadi venture founders.
Oke, mantap sekali ya. Berarti kita peneliti kayaknya lebih kebayang gitu ya, bahwa banyak yang bisa apply dan eligible to apply as long as they have a very clear idea on what they're going to do and what they're going to monetize gitu ya nantinya dari ide risetnya. Jadi tadi Mas Hender ada pertanyaan tambahan, is this VC or private equity nantinya? Mungkin saat ini tadi sudah dijawab ya, belum mesti harus punya, tapi apakah ada private equity atau venture capital?
Jadi untuk program ini kita akan berikan fully free ya. Jadi ini memang program yang free, teman-teman nggak ada pembayaran atau nggak ada dana registrasi yang harus diikutkan. Jadi teman-teman daftar aja. We will make sure it's all free. Jadi do not worry about the money side of it. We will help you actually to commercialize your idea, to build a venture yang nantinya akan bisa jadi sustainable business, whether from VC or from private equity itu nanti. Tapi this program is fully free.
Jadi kesempatan yang sangat baik ya untuk belajar. Yang penting dimulai dari keinginan untuk apply ya. Dari sini kita pengen apply, lalu diaktualisasikan dengan actually apply sebelum 2 Juli. Mungkin Pak Andi ada tambahan sedikit kompor untuk teman-teman yang ada di sini supaya semangat.
Saya tadi udah cek dan coba ngisi.
Wah, pantas kayaknya serius banget nih mukanya Pak Andi, ternyata sudah coba isi. Wah, luar biasa.
Ternyata perlu cuma 1,5 menit, Mbak Sastia. Jadi lebih cepat dari itu. Tapi ini saya kira sangat tempting karena benar tadi kata Bu Ruth itu kita tidak dikasih penasaran enggak. Jadi benar-benar bisa kita lihat semua. Ada 8 pertanyaan pertama ya, Mbak Ruth ya. Nama, email, HP gitu doang tuh. Sama deskripsi ide memang yang mungkin agak panjang. Jadi after that akan ada ini lagi. Jadi saya kira sih sangat menarik untuk dicoba oleh teman-teman sih. Apapun idenya gitu ya. So, good luck.
Oke, karena waktunya juga sudah almost nearing the time ya. Sebenarnya kita tadinya pengen bikin 1,5 jam, sepertinya juga sudah lebih. Tapi apabila ada yang ingin bertanya lebih lanjut, burning questions, silahkan bertanya lewat chat atau raise hand sebelum kita tutup. Kayaknya semuanya udah langsung meluncur ke website yang tadi ya, jadi lagi pada sibuk. Oke, tadi juga baru sini sudah share Instagramnya Future Lestari, dan nanti kita juga akan kirimkan kembali booklet ini, bisa juga ditonton ulang lewat YouTube. Tentunya we'll be happy also to facilitate kalau misalnya nanti diperlukan lagi ada pertanyaan, atau we will direct you ke Mbak Ruth dan juga ke Mbak Cynthia yang akan membantu untuk clarify kalau ada beberapa hal yang masih belum jelas. Gimana Pak Andi, back to you.
Thank you so much. Terima kasih Mbak Sastia atas recap yang sangat bagus. Ibu Ruth terutama, terima kasih lagi-lagi atas kesempatan ini. Sekarang nih sebagai tidak afdol kalau kita tidak foto bersama ya, Mbak Sastia, kan gitu biasanya. Jadi saya tidak akan simpulkan apapun karena ini kesempatan yang sangat bagus. Teman-teman, sebelum malam mingguan, mari kita foto dulu bersama. Yang sedang nyaman on cam, silahkan on cam. Kita akan ambil gambar nanti dibantu oleh Mbak Mas Wolf ini. Ini tech support kita yang sangat keren. Oke. Saya paham ini tidak semuanya ready untuk on cam, nggak apa-apa. Kita akan mulai saja. Saya akan ambil gambar juga dari sini. Mungkin Mas Wolf juga bisa bantu. Ya Mas Wolf ya. Saya akan hitung 3, 2, 1. Oke, mungkin berikutnya 2 lembar, halaman kedua. 3, 2, 1. Baik, begitu saja saya kira. Mbak Sastia, terima kasih sekali lagi. Bu Ruth, terima kasih. Ibu Cynthia, thank you so much. Also Nova tadi yang sudah menyampaikan sangat bagus. Ini opportunity yang bagus sekali saya kira ya Mbak Sastia ya. Jadi teman-teman di Indonesia jangan sampai ketinggalan. Saya kira begitu. Terima kasih atas perhatiannya. Sampai jumpa di acara I4 berikutnya. Selamat malam semuanya. Thank you.
Selamat malam semuanya. Terima kasih banyak Mbak Ruth, Mbak Cynthia.
Selamat malam.
Terima kasih Bu Sastia.
Ya, terima kasih
Dan
banyak.
teman-teman I4, Pak Andi. Very nice to collaborate with you.
Ya, terima
Looking
kasih
forward
banyak.
to meet you guys in the program ya.
Ya, terima kasih juga Mas Davi sudah hadir di sini. Terima kasih Pak Andi, Mas Wolf
Thank
semuanya.
you Mas
Selamat malam.
Davi.
Have a great weekend everyone.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Bye-bye everyone.
Bye.
See you.